This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan. With your host, Bradley Summers. And get the latest from Alpena Community College with ACC President Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Bradley Summers, and this morning our first guest is Melissa Burns from Friends Together. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. I know you're always busy at Friends Together with special events, with classes that you're administering or facilitating, and a lot of expansion opportunities, which we'll get to in a minute. But there is something that's been put out on your Facebook page about some big news that's coming out. And I know it was just put out just a few days ago on the news, or in the Alpena news, but tell us a little bit about the big news.
Yeah, so our staff is so excited to announce that an anonymous donor came forward with a huge gift of $35,000.
Awesome.
I know, it is so exciting, but we have to match that gift. So we are full steam ahead, pushing forward in our 6 counties to try to match that gift. So we've come up with a campaign to unlock the match, and we're asking our donors and our friends and our neighbors to help us meet that match and help our neighbors that have cancer.
Yeah, and this is a cash match donation. So
that's right.
What I mean is that, you know, some of the in-kind and things like that, it would just be every donation that you're getting is doubled, essentially.
That's right. So if you donate $1, our anonymous donor will match that dollar. So it's like double your donation, twice the impact.
Well, hopefully there's just someone out there watching that just donates $35,000 right now, and then you're just done.
That would be so awesome.
We all pray for that in the nonprofit world. We're like, yes, but you know, and I know with the work that you do and the outreach that you all perform, not only just in the Alpena area, but the other 5 counties that surround us, because you are in 6 counties, correct?
That's right. We cover Alpena, Alcona, Mount Morency, Iosco, and Oscoda counties.
And I know you make a big impact and footprint on every one of those counties. And you know, even just a few short years ago, you know, having representatives from from Friends Together that are on here that were just in 2 counties or 3 counties, and in a short period of time, how much work you've all put in to getting the word out about the services that you have, and of course, you know, being in more areas and giving more opportunities for people to get those resources.
That's right. It's really important because we do live in a very rural area, and it's hard for folks to access, you know, some of these needs, as you know. So it's really important that we're getting into those areas, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, some of our services that we offer. But that's why we're reaching out into these counties with this match campaign. You know, every little bit helps. So every dollar that comes in will be matched, and we'll go right back into these communities. Well,
I'm talking a little bit about the expansion. You have a new location in Tawas.
Yeah, so our Tawas support group has a new location. They will be meeting now at the Methodist Church in Tawas City, so you take note of that if you meet at that support group in Tawas. Also, we will be starting a brand new support group in the Hillman area. So that will be starting in May. So if you live in that area and you wish to join Friends Together, give us a call. We'll put you on the list. So as soon as that one starts up, we'll give you a call and give you all the details on that. We are also starting a new support group in Mayo. I mean, we are just going full steam ahead at Friends Together. So if you wish to join a support group and you live in Oscoda County, give us a call. We'll put you on that list, and we'll give you all the details for that support group. And for Alcona County, that support group is in the works, although we don't have a facility yet for that group. So it's our goal that by the end of our match campaign, we also have a support group in every single county, so that every single person with a cancer experience has a place to go to get support.
Yeah, because that would be really tough to be driving from Rogers City every day into Alpena or once a week, you know, for the support groups, or have to do things virtually, because it's just not the same virtually,
That's right.
I mean, it's more that in person, that feeling of actually having that conversation with somebody right next to you. It feels more. It's more intimate. It just feels more personable, and
that's right.
Wonderful. Obviously, when you're navigating through something very stressful in your life, and especially the cancer diagnoses and going through all of that, it's nice to have a hug.
Yeah.
Right?
It is, and a lot of the folks in our support groups, they find that, they become a close-knit family, and you're right. They need that one-on-one support with one another, and that's what Friends Together offers. That's what we're all about. And, on that topic, we are looking for some support group facilitators. So if you are a mental health care professional and you're looking for a few extra bucks each week, let me know. Maybe we can connect you with a support group that's a good fit for you. Because we are expanding and growing, and we want to offer the best services that we can to the folks in Northeast Michigan.
Yeah, so I ask anybody out there watching today, stop in at 105 Prentice Street and talk to one of the extraordinarily friendly team members at Friends Together, and ask about ways to be involved and donate and volunteer, and of course maybe even join the team as a healthcare professional.
Yep.
Yeah, it's incredibly important.
Yeah, as we know, and almost everyone has been touched by cancer in some way, and we don't just help people that have cancer, we help their loved ones too. Caregivers, family members, friends, everyone needs support. So if you are a person in need of support, give us a call and find out how we can help you.
Yeah, and it's awesome that you're sitting across from me here as the director of Friends Together. I've known you for quite a while in the community, and the things that you've done with helping with food insecurity and helping with so many different things. But to take over this organization, that I know you have an extraordinarily personal story as to why you're so involved. But it is just amazing to see you here, and thank you.
Thanks, Brad.
Well, and obviously, I'm excited too to hear about the things that are going to be happening with, the match campaign, and we'll have you on next month too to give a nice update and tell everybody where you're at.
I can't wait to see you, and I'm so excited for this opportunity that we've been given. We don't want to waste it, and I hope that we're successful. And it's a great opportunity to help our folks.
Yeah, one phone call can mean a world of difference.
That's right.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Brad.
Stay tuned after the break for representatives from Emmanuel Lutheran Church here in Alpena. Welcome back, everyone. Our next two guests are Jim Grulke and Pastor Jim Erickson with Emmanuel Lutheran Church. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you both for being here today.
Thank you, Brad.
Well, we were talking about, obviously, Emmanuel Lutheran Church. It's been around for a couple years, apparently. And what I mean by that is, being extraordinarily sarcastic, is that this is your 150th year celebration since the inception of the church here in Alpena. That started in 1874.
Yeah, there were several congregations here in Alpena that began in the late 1860s and into the early 1870s. We were one of them, but it's been a wonderful, wonderful history.
And then the history that you have, both of you, have been with the church for 40 years. And reflecting back on just 40 years, I can only imagine that, we were kind of joking before the show started that the landscapes are a little different from even 40 years ago. But, you brought up one really great fact, too, that, 1874 is only just 6 years after the Civil War.
Yeah.
And, to have, an organization, any organization that has sustained growth or has been a sustained, partner in the community and collaborator, like Emmanuel Lutheran has, it's just an incredible thing to see 150 years with anything that has survived, maintained, and kept their mission the same in some sense. I know a lot of things have changed, obviously, in that 150 years, but, talk a little bit about, how the mission has remained, very viable in the communities that it serves here at Alpena, and people from around the surrounding areas that attend the Mass. Talk a little bit about, that 150 years and it's how it's been embraced here in Alpena.
I think Emmanuel has always been known for a very stable congregation. And I think because people know what the purpose of the congregation is. It's not just simply people getting together to socialize, but we have a message that needs to be shared and it needs to be proclaimed. And Emmanuel, since the very beginning, has not only had a church, but also a school as well, a little one-room school. And proclaiming the message of Jesus Christ, nurturing disciples, growing disciples has always been the focus of our congregation, and preaching and teaching God's Word. And so it certainly has a very stable purpose. It's had a heritage of pastors who have stayed a long time in Alpena. Yeah. And we had one pastor that came in 1916 and stayed all the way till 1956. Wow. And so we've had a lot of stability in the congregation, but the school has been a big part of our of our outreach and of our mission.
Yeah, we serve some of the kids at the Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah.
That come and bus straight over each day from the school. And that's an incredible opportunity and collaboration in the community as well.
Yeah, Jim is our principal at the present time, and obviously our school has been doing real well. We're just about at 140 students, and have some thoughts for the future. Jim, maybe you want to comment on that.
40 years ago, I was a lot younger, and so I just want to say that you talked about a consistent message, and I received that consistent message in those 40 years. He knows I get worked up quite a bit about this church, because I love the church. Yeah. And I was a young whippersnapper, basically, and I really had to mature through the years, and the consistent message, the people that God placed around me helped me mature in my faith. I would never ever have thought I would be interim principal at this school, and so with their consistent help, their support, and we have a lot of volunteers that are around that really believe in the message also. I think that contributes to the consistency of Emmanuel, and I as I say, I was here 40 years ago, but we're looking ahead. We're really looking to the future and what we have to offer, not only to our own congregation, but to the community and possibly the world, because when we have a school, we have a mission in itself. We never know where those kids are going to end up throughout the world. And we do have some kids that are world travelers. So now it seems that there's some interest in proceeding with a high school. So we're exploring a new vision, and we are presently under a study to see if that's going to work here in Alpena.
That's incredible. And educational resources are always a great resource, no matter where it is. And I think that would be a great vision for the future. And it sounds too, from listening to you talk about why you're involved with the church and the passion that you have for the church, and now principal, you feel that passion, and I'm sure that's being passed along to the teachers and then down to the kids, and and it starts on Sundays. Pastor Erickson, you've been a person that I've known my whole life, and through sports, through volunteer efforts, and of course being a whippersnapper in this community as well. But having a leader within the church like yourself that has the patience to listen to people and listen to kids and build them up so they feel 10 foot tall and bulletproof every day, that's what it's like to, I know that you have put that passion into it as a pastor pastor and that passion into our community. You know, obviously I can't say enough nice things about you, and you know, that's always been
Much too kind,
yeah,
Brad.
well, I don't think so. But you know, and it's nice, you know, Jim, too, to have your viewpoint on, you know, where the church is going, and you know, that's the progressive nature of where we want to be as a community. We want to see that growth. We want to see more opportunities and engagement activities for young people, middle-aged people, old people. It doesn't matter, for everybody.
It's so easy for churches, I think, to fall into a trap of becoming little social clubs when in and of themselves. And they just like to get together, but they don't have much of a vision to reach people. And Jim, the first thing that we connected with and brought Jim into the congregation was church softball.
Awesome.
Because he was a great athlete, excellent athlete. He was a good outfielder. And when I got to know him and I knew that he could play outfield, I was in awe, and we wanted him to play. And that was kind of the hook that the Lord used to bring Jim into our congregation.
Yep.
And I
Absolutely.
think, you know, I'll never forget at Concordia Seminary in St. Louis when we had a speaker come from Vanderbilt Divinity School down in Nashville. And he told us Lutherans, he says, you know, I might be a Methodist, but I got to tell you Lutherans, ministry is about people, people, people. And that is so true. It's about the gospel connecting with people and connecting people with the gospel, the good news, and the reality of Jesus Christ, who is alive and coming again. And so it's just part of just a dream to watch the gospel go to work in the hearts and lives of people and draw people to know Christ as their personal Savior.
And as we plan this 150th anniversary of a big dinner coming up in April, and the amount of volunteers to work and to plan, and for that matter, for the entire calendar of the year for these special events, it's just, we've just got wonderful people that believe in the mission and support the church and are willing to spend their precious time doing that type of work.
Well, I know these are going to be very successful events, and you know, there's a lot. There's one for every single month that you have out there, and of course the one on April 13th is the next one at the Aplex. Sure. And if anybody out there is interested, please call the church. Please, you know, you can contact the TV station too. We can give information, and of course the website as well, and or visit you at Mass.
Sure, we'd love to have you.
Thank you both so very much for being on today, sharing your stories, your passion for not only just Emmanuel Lutheran as a church, but for the community as well. And I look forward to future conversations and learning more about the awesome events that are going on.
Yeah, well, we're honored to be here.
Yes.
Thank you both very much.
Yeah, thanks, Brad.
And thank you all for joining us as we continue to learn about the wonderful world of nonprofits in our local community. Please stay tuned after the break for the ACC segment.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, president of Alpena Community College. I'd like to share with you this morning something delightful that came across my desk this morning, actually, completely unexpected. And it just took me back, and I wanted to share it with you because, well, there's many reasons why I would like to. And what it is a November 20th, 1996 issue of The Polemic, which was an ACC newspaper at that time. This is a project that was near and dear to my heart because at that time I was teaching journalism and was the advisor of the paper. So, you know, I have not seen this issue in 28 years. But the lead story ties to now. And the headline reads, "Worth breaks ground on student housing." So, and then the subheading is 16 townhouse apartments to be available by fall 1997. So you've heard me talk numerous times about the college's desire to add more housing. This is the first housing that the college had, the housing that's been in existence since 1996, so that's when it was gestated. So I'm going to read briefly from it. Kent Anderson wrote the story. He was a fine writer, and he was news editor at that time. And he writes this: Alpena Community College Board of Trustees announced November 12th that by the fall of 1997, student housing by way of 16 four-person townhouse apartments will be available. Depending on the financial success of the project, beginning construction on an additional 16 units could take place next year at this time. Well, that's only taken, 20 some years to get to that point, but that's where we are now. And applications for occupancy for the first units were made available on November 13th. Housing will be allotted on a first-come, first-served basis, with the 64 openings expected to be filled quickly. And they are filled. As I've pointed out numerous times when we've talked about housing, our need for more housing is driven by the reality that the 64 beds, which are referenced here, are filled. They're filled a month ago for the semester that will begin in August of this year. And there's probably anecdotally 80 students that indicated they want housing beyond the 64. So we have need. Third paragraph, the project estimated at a cost of $800,000. Times have changed over a quarter of a decade in terms of how much things cost to build. We'll be located on 2¼ acres of ACC property directly behind the Graphic Arts Building. Of course, that building is no longer there, and now the Fine Arts Building is there. And will be constructed by Worth Development, LLC, and managed by Stratford Group, a company that is owned by Ken Worth. So the Worths did do the building, and they did a good job of it. And they were a great group to work with. So there's a photo here of some of the trees coming down, and that's always interesting to see. And there were a lot of trees in that spot. Rent $220 unfurnished and $250 furnished. Over the years, this has been a source of student housing at ACC, and we purchased the units from Ken Worth and his family maybe 6 or 7 years ago. We've owned and managed them since. And now we have a need for more housing. I just have to share with you some of the other articles that are in here. It's just wonderful. There's an article about the walls going up on Wilson Street, the health department. That building was just being built. The interactive classroom, which was the forerunner of WebEx that we do so much with now. And there was a movie review from Joel Petrikis, who was a staff writer at that time. And of course, those of you who know Joel know that he's gone on to considerable success as a filmmaker. But he loved film, and he loved to do film reviews. And this one was a delight to reread. There is an article about Knowledge Bowl. And Sonia Titus, who is the moderator. Of course, Sonia was, after she retired, was replaced by Dr. Walchak. We still do Knowledge Bowl, and it's a lovely event. And there's ads and sports. It's just a wonderful thing to see. One thing that jumps out at me always is how much things have changed. When we were doing the paper, there was no pagination. There was, we would take photos. They would be black and white. They did film. We would take them to the drugstore to get it developed. All of that, of course, nobody uses film anymore. The Alpena News, who did our printing, they did not do color photos at that time. That came shortly thereafter. And so from the technology standpoint, media has changed so much. There was not social media at this time. There was not Facebook and Instagram and X. But there were students that were interested in journalism and did a wonderful job of it, and put together a paper, 4 papers per semester, so 8 papers a year. It was a lot of work for them as I look back and I look at the amount of work and the quality of the work and the effort they put in. It's wonderful to see. And, as this issue about housing it also reminds us that as things change, also they remain the same. And, where our job then, as it is now, is to help students succeed. And having a place to live on campus that's convenient is certainly a part of that. Any survey that we did 25 years ago, and if we were to do another, food insecurity, transportation, and housing would be the top 3 and remain the top 3 issues that prevent students from succeeding. So the more things change, the more they stay the same. So thank you for watching Talk of the Town. We'll see you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your hosts Bradley Summers and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at WBKB11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Queen Bee's Knees LLC production, a Morgan Murphy media company. All rights reserved.